definition of a smash and grab. Wolves 1, Tottenham 2. Apologies if you can hear the rain in the background. Horrible weather in Wolverhampton, but unfortunately Wolves, their unbeaten run is finally over, and it's come at the hands of Jose Mourinho's Tottenham, who well, went ahead twice, ended up winning the game with a late header through Jan Vertonghen. Really disappointing game. It was a game where, to be honest, before the match I thought this is going to be a really dangerous Spurs side. You saw them last week against Burnley, knocked 5 past them, and I thought if that Spurs turn up it would be a really difficult game. But it was, we went back to almost vintage Mourinho, where they got their goal and that was it. That's all they wanted. 11 men behind the ball for the majority of the game, and it was Wolves there then really to score and to dominate. Team lineup for Wolves was as we expected, unchanged from Brighton. Of course, I think that game against Besiktas in the week, where the majority of the players were rested, I think that did have an effect on today. I think the players looked good today, and it's very rare that you can come out of a loss and probably take more positives from the performance than negatives. And I genuinely think we can take more positives from this. I think the main thing that we've got to try and get away from is the morale. That is a massive kick in between the legs that we've conceded 91st minute against a team who on paper are probably stronger than us, but in reality today we were much the superior team. However, Mourinho, the way he celebrated at the end, you know that's how he came and that's how he wanted to play, and it's worked out for them. They know they got out of jail because of how good Wolves were. Got their lead fairly early on, which was a little bit annoying. It's quite similar to last year's game. It was Lucas Moura again who scored the opening goal. Patricio, for me, probably shouldn't get beaten there at his near post, but he made a decent save earlier on from Son Heung-min. And then, which is everything for me, just came, and I'm looking at it from hindsight, and as they say, hindsight is a wonderful thing. But the first goal for me all started from a very poor Wolves set piece. I'm not too sure what we were doing with the short ones. I'm not going to slate it too much because I've seen us score goals from them, but that was pretty poor. Then it was a poor, that led on to Spurs counter-attack, and then it was a poor Patricio clearance, and it sort of all just built up, and in the end he got beaten at his near post and Spurs took the lead. But after that, for the rest of the game, especially at 1-0, it was a matter of when Wolves were going to score. It wasn't if Wolves were going to score, it was when we were going to score, because that's how good we looked going forward and everything. I was really hoping that we could nick one before half time. Jimenez had a couple of opportunities, Jota did as well, and we were unfortunate not to be level at half time. But second half as well, the first 10 minutes were some of the best football, and it was as if you came in as a neutral, you didn't understand or know any of the history of these two teams. On that performance, it looked like Spurs were a team fighting for relegation, the way they were defending for their lives and everything, and you would have expected that in the 90th minute. But the fact that we were having that in the 50th minute, the respect that Spurs showed Wolves was a far more than what I expected, to be honest. Adama in the end making the difference for us, getting us that equaliser. What a beautiful strike that was as well. Couple of shouts of handball from the Spurs fans. I thought, oh God, here we go. He's going to have scored this goal and he's going to VAR and so on. I think it was Jimenez who possibly handballed it. Obviously, he didn't. But Adama was a real handful. When we started moving the ball very nicely and getting that ball out to him on the right-hand side, the way he was skipping past the players, he drew, off the top of my head, 3 or 4 bookings straight away, just off little fouls there. And Spurs didn't manage him as well as I expected. I know Vertonghen was on the left, but I thought, you know, he played very deep. I think that played into our hands a little bit more. I think the majority of the team really did well. And of course, the winning goal. So this is the other part of hindsight for me. The winning goal, Adama goes down on the other end after we have a pretty promising counter-attack. We still carry on the play. You probably expect us to kick the ball out. We're carrying it on. And then Dendoncker fouls Harry Kane. Free kick comes in. They win the corner off the free kick and the corner's scored. I know it's 2 or 3 phases of play, but if Dendoncker had kicked that ball out or someone else had kicked the ball out for injury and said, ref, look, he's injured, we would have regained possession. It's just little things like that. But I cannot... It was an extremely positive performance. I think the thing for Wolves is that we've got to ensure that we bounce back next week against Norwich. If we could get, or could have got 4 points from today and Norwich, I would have been delighted, because after Christmas, we've got 2 of the best teams in the league and 2 of the best teams in the world in City and Liverpool. If we got a good amount of points from today and Norwich, that would have given us a little bit of breathing space for those 2 games. But now the fact that we slipped to 8th now, For me, because we've been sort of up there now for so long, I really just wanted us to start building some momentum and maybe start bridging a gap between us and the other sides. We've got a big gap now between now and the next Europa League game. We can go a little bit more, into third and fourth gear with our team selections. We can start picking our players a little bit more. We don't have to sort of look up over our shoulder and think, oh, we've got a Europa League game on Thursday. And I think Nuno showed that with his subs as well. We played so well for the majority of the game, we didn't need to bring anyone else on. I think at times, maybe in January, we can look in the window and think, who can I pick now that will change a game? Because for me at the moment on our bench, we haven't got anyone that can change the game. I think that's what Wolves need. And in the end, a positive performance for me, but heartbreaking as well. It's one of life mysteries how Wolves did not get a point from this game. But got to bounce back. Against Norwich, we get 3 points. This is all forgotten. It's a great performance, but just need to start putting the ball in the back of the net a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, guys. And yeah, devastated, but who would have thought it? 4 years ago, I think, I was at Hillsborough watching Leon Clark this weekend score a winner against Sheffield Wednesday. Today, we've taken a Champions League finalist from last season down to the wire, and they were parking the bus almost against us. So, differences that 4-5 years make. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all very, very soon.